Hey everybody, it's Carm here, coming to you on a Friday evening. Thank you everyone for your kind comments on the last video. I mentioned being on YouTube in the VC for 4 years, and just thank you for, I didn't realize so many people had already been watching. Some people I hadn't heard from before, and some people I've known for quite a while on here, so yeah, much appreciated. Still, keep doing these videos as long as they're fun. And we have the director's head. And of course, Rocky himself here has been part of it for a couple of years now. I think about 2.5 years. And we've determined that Fuzzy has a variety of occupations as per suggestions. He's he's a consultant, he's a prop meister, he's a key grip, and he's a sound person. So probably explains in part why he doesn't appear on camera very often, but he's part of the show in some way. But and I'm glad you all enjoy seeing them when they're around as well. So yeah, just wanted to come on and talk about my newest obsession here, which I've been spinning quite a bit lately, in addition to other things. And got it playing lightly in the background. I don't, copyright thing, but long awaited and anticipated Quantum Gate, Tangerine Dream. I guess this has been in the works really since about the middle of 2014. It was actually, I can find it here. It's right under, the director is obscuring it. Quantum Key, the EP they released, I believe this came out either just before or after Edgar's passing, Edgar Froza, founding member, and this had been talked about in the works for quite some time. Now he's credited with playing on the majority of these songs. It said here it was recorded between August 2014 and June 2017, and he died in January of 2015. So I'm not sure if maybe he had played several of the the four of them had played several of the pieces together, and then maybe on the additional tracks they'd taken some of his playing, Edgar's playing as raw material, and then added their own. I'm not quite sure how they approached it overall, but they had been recording this up until the summer. So, but either way, the result is, for me, one of the finest things they've done in many years. I mean, and this was meant to be released on the September 29th, which was their 50th anniversary of the group's formation back in 1967. So yeah, this is just this has been fantastic. Well worth the wait. There's been a few albums released in the interim from the three remaining members. Torsten Quaischning has been the longest standing member, aside from Edgar, since the mid-2000s. Hoshiko Yamane on violin and electronics. It's fairly new. I think she joined the group maybe around 2011 or 2012, roughly, and it's been a wonderful addition with her a very distinctive playing. And Ulrich Schnaus, quite established in his own right, with the solo playing. And he lends a certain emotional pull, which wasn't absent from the group before, but it's so distinctive and has a really powerful anthemic quality, which I really has added so much to the group. And I actually just got the LP fairly recently. I got the CD a few weeks ago, but I don't think they've released an LP since maybe Raccoon, I want to say, from '92. So yeah, I couldn't help but find it. Show the LP itself. Yeah, I haven't actually played the vinyl yet. Good look. Yeah, I like how the font is sort of like a little bit like the early records. So there's definitely a nod to the early days with those. But it's been, it's just been fantastic so far. And again, yeah, at least one of the cuts came from the original EP here. The first piece which I'm playing now lately, Sensing Elements, is something I would have bought the album for on its own. It's so powerful. It's a roughly 13 minutes, maybe 13 and a half. It goes through a series of changes, with the sequencer and varying moods. It doesn't stay in one place for very long, but it's just really interesting, the corners that it turns, and it just has such a... It's really appropriate that it's called Quantum Gate, because it sounds like they're just really coming through an entryway and just really establishing, like, we're still here, even with what's happened in the last few years. We're still here, we're still playing, and it somewhat was billed as being kind of not rehashing the past, but kind of maybe using it as a template, what they were doing during the 70s. It's not like they're doing a recent version of the older music. They're taking it as a springboard maybe for further explorations, but it is very modern and very very progressive, I think. The next couple pieces, actually it's a little easier to tell the sequencing on the CD. Oh yeah, I'll pull these out too. There's more pictures and information in the CD itself. The second piece, Roll the 7 Twice, it's probably a reference to the quotes that are inside here. Yeah, I have quotes by Albert Einstein and Stephen Hawking, so I'm guessing those are references to those. But on those pieces, the sequencer really comes in, very powerfully and dramatically. It's a great sense of drama to the music. Oh, here we go. Here I'm saying, I think the second video in a row he's appeared. Okay. And being very vocal. But yeah, that piece, those next couple of pieces are very sequencer driven, a little slower. There's also Granular Blankets. Now the fourth piece, it's a really colorful title. It's Time to Leave When Everyone is Dancing, which is the one piece that was performed by just Ulrich and Torsten, just the two of them on that. And it is probably the closest thing to kind of like a dance number. Not exactly techno, but it kind of alludes to that. But it also kind of reminds me of Prince in a way, like his around like his 1999 period. Both the beat and some of the synth phrasing just has a little bit of a nod to that. I don't know if that had been done, possibly since Prince's own passing, but it's either way. It's I wouldn't be surprised if he was an influence on them, being that he's so innovative and multi-talented himself. The next piece, Identity Proven Matrix, to me really sounds a lot like Patrick O'Hearn. Maybe there's some influence there as well. And actually, I come to think of it, he was on Private Music, which Tangerine Dream was also on Private Music, and Peter Baumann ran the label for some time, who was also in Tangerine Dream. So I don't know, just thinking of these connections as I go. A piece on here that really moves me is Non-Locality Destination, which you really hear Edgar on there. I remember even getting a little emotional hearing it, because you could hear his chords coming through. He had such distinctive chords, not just the timbre of whatever synthesizer he was playing, but the phrasing of them, as well as his guitar, which is, I think his tone changed very little since the earliest days of him playing on record, and was still there. And it just, I don't know, felt like he was sort of reaching across from the other side, and kind of like one last time, and saying, making one final statement that, or at least for the time being, if nothing else, gets released posthumously. I don't know, but it was just a really powerful moment when that came on, and I saw he was on there, and you could hear it, very clearly. Proton Bonfire. Well, there's a piece on the EP called Electron Bonfire, so it sounds like it's a variation of that piece, but very close to the original. And again, very powerful with the with the sequencer, just the way it comes in, and again has that really strong sense of drama, and yeah, it's so powerful. And and Tear Down the Gray Skies. Actually, these last three pieces, Hoshiko's violin is very prominent, and I really like that addition to the group. As far as an acoustic-oriented instrument, I mean, with all respect to Linda Spa with her saxophone playing, I think that brought the music a little more down to earth, whereas the violin kind of brings it up and out, which I always appreciated most about Tangerine Dream. The kind of sense of, again, that dark mysterioso quality, but also that otherworldly, almost transcending quality. It just takes you out to another place. It's very strong on these pieces. Yeah, it comes Tear Down the Gray Skies. Her violin's very, very prominent in there, and again, very dramatic. And it ends with Genesis of Precious Thoughts, which is actually the opening cut on Quantum Key. It's interesting hearing it, as the last piece. And again, very powerful, with the sequencer, almost like, dropping a gauntlet or something and just saying, we're very much here, and it's, I just love it. So much I could say about this album, and I could do a video about this every day for the next, few weeks, and maybe come up with something slightly different, or, think of something better to say. I don't know, but it's just, you could hear it a little bit. It's just really, I don't know. It just has, it just speaks to me in a way that a lot of the recent stuff, it has, but this one, really, again, kind of, I guess, just kind of transcends in a way. So, if you're a fan, if you're a fan of the stuff from the 70s and maybe the early 80s, and maybe you gave up on them and didn't even want to bother hearing, or if you heard certain things and you just kind of wrote them off and said, I don't even want to bother with them anymore, I'd really recommend giving this one a chance. Because again, even though it's certainly not rehashing the early days, it's very much, it keeps consistent with that. I think that original vision, that exploratory vision, with just new instruments, new pathway, new way of saying it, but still very much there. And whatever format you pick it up on, or just listen to it, find a way to listen to it and just absorb yourself. Definitely on headphones, I'm always biased towards, but by all means, check it out. Tangerine Dream's Quantum Gate. Still here, and we'll see what, if anything, comes next. But it gets my highest recommendation, and so I think this will stand the test of time, as much as anything else. So just wanted to come on and share that, and we'll see what comes up next. Tomorrow I may, I don't want to jinx it, but I may be getting together with Chris, the Record Wonderland store I've mentioned before. I guess they're having a 1-year anniversary themselves, and having a sale, so I might head over there and meet up with Chris there, and see if I come with anything interesting. So it might be at least one more video before end of the month. So thanks again for all the kind comments and for watching. From the director and the multifaceted behind the scenes feline here. Peace, love, and joy.